Hi again. So this is our third part of our Fibri for HR solution, and this one will be about the employee management. So we start again with our fancy workspace map to understand what's going on. So before we were talking about the hiring, how do we hire the candidate, and once candidate is hired, there is an automation that is triggered. We will talk about this just a little bit later. And in this case, candidate becomes an employee. So as you see, employee is much more connected to everything happening in our company compared to the candidate. So let's go and check how it looks like. So first I will go to the employees table. As you see, Winnie Null card appeared here automatically. I didn't add it manually. His title is just repeating the name of the position he was hired for. Also automatically, it even preserved the emoji. Now, what can I do? I can add the necessary information. So, like, I can add now his new working email. From Fibri users, I can also choose the one Winnie is now reporting to, right? I can also check where he is from, his birthday date. So, in fact, like here, you can just have an overview of all the employees you have. You can later group them, for example, by department if you use departments. You can group them by, I don't know, by their level, but at the moment there will be just all the people that we have. And if I open a Winnie Null's card, as employee, remember, he has much more relations than the candidate has. That's true because we have to understand much more different information about Winnie Null when he becomes our employee. So, for example, we want to know about his boarding tasks, what has to be done to onboard Winnie Null. About this part, we will talk a bit later in the next video. We also can assign a couple of HR tasks, what we will do in the next couple of minutes, like, I don't know, prepare the contract, right? I don't know, add him to the tax system. So, all that important stuff that HR employee are about. Allocations here, this part will talk about in the fifth video. That will be Winnie's allocation of vacations he has this year, and each time there will be a new year, he will have here information about his vacation capacity. You can for sure reorder that, right? Like, so it was making more sense for you. Maybe it just makes sense to make it like this. One-on-ones, here you will be able to track Winnie Null meetings, salary reviews as well. Maybe it's too early in the beginning, but there will be negotiation, and you can also schedule some automation rules. For example, plan a salary review for every employee every year. So if you have such a cadence in your company, you can schedule it right here. And vacations, overtimes, and sick leaves. Here you will be able to see when this employee is planning his vacation for overtime, sick leaves. Later, we will test it in our fifth video. This part, we will talk about this much more. Now it's just an overview. And country public holidays. If your teammates are working remotely, it's important to understand, like, the more employees you have, the more important it is to understand whether they are AFK today due to some country holidays. So when you open an employee's card, you'll have here all the important information you have to know about them. Um, what else do we do before we just experiment a bit? So now Winnie is our employee, and probably we want to share with him some new information about how our company operates. So here you may have some documents, like in Fibri we have something called company one-on-one. No, not one-on-one, 101, like an emergency call, where are artifacted most important most important information about how company operates, like what is about the work schedule, which tools do we use, how our processes work. So if you have a set of such documents, you can just share a link with an employee where he can check all the high level details. As we also have a whiteboard, you can also create a kind of a fancy overview of what other teammates are about. So in this case, this one I just duplicated the one that we have in our Fibri team. So as you see, we just also use an employee's card. We also have a position, and we're just a bit describe what every employee is mostly working on, just to speed up the introduction part. And also in Fibri, to prepare good um, stats, you have to have much more data in your template, but a lot of data in template looks a bit confusing. So here I just shared with you how our document in Fibri looks like in terms of onboarding. So we have such a kind of a fancy dashboard where you may just click through the links and check important information about sales, check our progress in terms of marketing. Regarding engineering, here is also a quick navigation what to check about the product roadmap, about our language, how do we work, some embed views regarding like how it looks like right now, customer success, what do you have to know about our cooperation with customers, and also about the employees, all the important information inside. So this is a kind of a collaborative dashboard that also lives in our HR space and our company space. Here it can live, in your case, in the employee management space. And if you're curious how to create such fancy dashboards, again, I added a link to the education materials under the employee management header. So there is a tutorial how to build such a collaborative dashboard, custom one for your teammates. Okay, so let's go one step back. We hired Winnie. Now Winnie has his own fancy employee card. Now also, like, we may check how many teammates do we have across the world. So not that many. Most of them are in Poland, some around Cyprus, and we may check who is, for example, in Cyprus. It's Emily Chan. So one is probably a bit more fancy, but let's do something helpful. Let's probably plan something for Winnie. Let's open his card again, right? I think he reports to Paulina. Ha ha ha. Let's say that Winnie now is from, I don't know, from France. Probably we are that remote. His start date is set automatically based on the day when his card was moved to hired. But if your start date is official, another one, you can just change it. Exit date, hopefully this will not happen, but who knows, birthday, location, and also, like, you can always hide the field you don't need on a regular basis, just to make Winnie a bit less anxious. Okay, so let's uncollapse this part of the HR task. I also want to expand it, right, to make it better. And let's explain what this board is about. This will be HR tasks about this employee. So what do we have to do? We have probably to prepare a contract for Winnie, and we also, I don't know, have to share all the documents with the legal department. Okay, so I signed a couple of tasks that are about Winnie. I can also open a task. I can add some description here. As you see, I can also load here a couple of files. I can assign people directly right here. So like if Paulina is responsible for Winnie, let's her do this task. And if I close this board, I still see these HR tasks under the Winnie's name. And probably for Winnie, it is also important, like to see his own card and see the tasks that are about him. If he has any questions, which whom may he ask, what's the progress, etc., etc. By the way, yeah, if you need more fields on this level, like for example, date field for deadline, please don't hesitate to edit like date field, call it deadline, and that will be it. So I kept this HR task database card very clean for a while, so you could add all the necessary things and not while not being overwhelmed. And although we added these tasks on the Winnie null level, right? If I even close his card, and then I navigate to the view that is called HR tasks by state, I will be able to see all the HR tasks across all the employees that has to be done by my department. So I see that Paulina has to prepare like documents for insurance regarding Alex Johnson, our another employee, preparing renewal contract for Sarah, and preparing contract for Winnie. And my colleague Kostya has to organize the training. And I also see that there is an assigned task that probably I want to assign to Kostya, because why do I have to do all the work, right? So um, here you will have all the tasks that has to be done. And even if you add another task, like let's call it new HR task, what do we have to do? Yeah, let's say we have to prepare insurance for Win. I can open this card. I cannot make mistakes. Of course, I cannot. And I can choose which employee this HR task is about. Like it's about Winnie now, right? Uh, when I edit it here, now if I open Winnie's card, I see that this card, prepare insurance for Winnie, was added to is seen on his level as well. But there can be HR tasks that are not about the specific employee, for example, like organize and training. So that's okay. In this case, my employee field is just left empty. This is absolutely okay because HR, I know it's not only about a specific employee. So this is about the execution of the HR guys and gals. What else do we want to have? Probably regarding Winnie. Now let's plan for him a one-on-one, the first one-on-one that has to be done. So as you see here, I had a board because I like boards in terms of execution. But for one-on-ones, now I have lists. So let's probably like create another one. Winnie and Paulina, first one on one. I can create it directly from here. I can set a date, like I will plan it till the end of this week. But yeah, sure, I can also like set the time. Okay. And if I don't like list, instead here I can, for example, use a calendar like this. Ah. And here I see our wonderful meeting. I can also have a week view, probably then it doesn't look that good. Remember, I don't like calendars, but that is possible. And if, for example, I would prefer to see it in a list like this. So we will say that this is Winnie and Paulina first one-on-one. Here I can make some notes. And later you may check what were your one-on-ones about. And again, even though I edited here, if I go to the meetings planned calendar total, here I will be able to see both all planet salary reviews, and there I will be also able to see all the planet one-on-ones. Let's check. Did we have anything? Yeah, for example, in September we had a salary review with Sarah Martinez, and in October we have a one-on-one planet. Do we have anything for November? No, we don't. So this is one of the ways how you have a granular overview on the employee level, but you don't miss a high level overview on the company level. And again, you can add like anything from anywhere. For example, here I have this button, write to the new. There is like this arrow, and I want to plan another salary review, for example. So I choose when do I want to have it, like on 24th of October, with which employee, for example, with Alex Johnson. So I submit it here. I see that, oh, awesome, we have this salary review planet. If I open it, I see the employee. And if I open the employee Alex Johnson, I see that he's has had last time one-on-one in August, and he had a salary review last time in March, and the next one is planned for October. So all that was done within the time is handled here. You can also like track some financial data, like what was his salary before, what is his new salary, then track dynamically, I don't know, with reports, how the salary of a particular employee was changed. But I believe it's probably a separate topic about the finances. I definitely recommend using our blog, where we shared how do we track finances in Fibry. I will also share the link in the educational materials, just in case you will decide to put your effort into that as well. And here, as you mentioned, I used a small trick. Like when I clicked here, I have this kind of nice form, right? Like with some required fields, what do I have to fill in? These forms are living here. I have here one-on-one form, and I also have salary review form. So they are very simple, but they can be used from anywhere, even from the employees level. So even if I open a Winning Now card, and here is a one-on-one, see here I have the same icon. I can choose one-on-one form, and it will be probably like just like a bit more handy to choose um, the options here rather than typing them right here. So technically, both of these ways to add data are very similar. So result will be the same, but it just only depends what is easier for you in terms of UI. And you can add such kind of forms for any kind of data. Again, how to do this will be in educational materials. And before we go to the next video, let's probably go to the hiring again and check the automation that we were talking about. So this automation that made from candidate a real employee lives in the automations tab. So this rule is called create employee when candidate is hired. This is probably for you a nice example on how automation rules work. So as you see, there is absolutely no coding at all. So when candidate is updated, so when we set his state as hired, in this case, we automatically create a new employee that has the same name and the same position as candidate had. If you want to inherit more data that from the candidate into the employee, you can just add a new field here. And I don't know, for example, inherit country if you collect country from the candidate level, let's say. So there are a lot of possible automations that you can set. So please feel free to discover them. I think this is it about the employee management. Next, our video will be about the onboarding. So once our Winnie became our employee and we generated some tasks and first meetings, we are going to let him know how to become a part of our company. And we want to be fully automated. So see you in the next video.